Hello and welcome back. I am Sarah. I read as Sora for Sky Messages by Sora. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at Sora Sky Messages. And last week we reviewed the Disney Villains Tarot deck. And so this week we are going to do our Pick a Pile mini readings. I'm shuffling. I'm going to thank you for liking and subscribing, hitting the button, sharing, whatever feels right to you. Just helps get the readings to the people who need them. If you enjoy this content and similar content and the tarot deck reviews, and you'd like it early or you'd like bonus content or any of the other perks, you can head over to my Patreon. If you want to book a reading, you just go to the website or send me an email. How the Pick a Pile readings work if you are new here, I give 3 piles of 3. I ask you to find the one that resonates for you, and then I do the readings. I do include each reading's time as its own separate chapter, so you are able to skip ahead once you've decided which pile feels right to you. So these are piles 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. Feel free to pause and come back, and then we'll get started. So deep breath. And I'm going to start with pile number 1. We are starting strong with the Devil, the Nine of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. Now these are really interesting because the Devil, if you look at like the Rider-Waite, you'll see the Devil often portrayed as bondage, you know, what you're stuck to, addiction, alcoholism, that sort of thing, the maladaptive coping skills and what keeps you there. And it's not bad, it's just different. In my tradition, that's a step too far. We are looking at what is going on, what are you obsessing about, what are you avoiding that could lead you to those kind of behaviors. The Devil is all about the devils we make for ourselves, like the little demons, the little chattering. And that's why I said these were interesting, because the Nine of Swords is a card of nightmares, it's a card of anxiety, it's a card of worry and feeling like things won't work out. So these together become that inner chatter that whether it's the intrusive thoughts or those little voices, however you refer to them, those are the things that hold you back. They're the things that you want to avoid but can't get out of your head. They're the things that are standing in your way, and they are the things that need to be cleared out, whether this is through therapy, journaling, meditation, talking to a friend. I personally, in this case, would really recommend the therapy or talking to a friend or something, because it can be very hard to break yourself out of that spiral, and therefore sometimes, as good as meditation and journaling can be, having that kind of isolation can sometimes make this worse. So, you know, start with someone you trust and then work your way back to yourself. Again, just a suggestion. I am not a mental health professional. I'm just telling you what the cards are telling me. And then this last card is the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands could not have been depicted by a better character, because she is known as the most beautiful, right? And the Queen was kind of obsessed with being the fairest of them all, right? But the reason she's known as the most attractive is because she gets what she wants. You, when you see this card, are kind of looking at your life and deciding what you want in it, not unlike the Magician, but more generalized, more actually being in that point where you're pulling those things in, where you're going for them, where you are letting your passionate side out and creating this. The Queen of Wands is an interesting one, given what I said at the beginning, because we see her, and one of the things about her that makes her so attractive is that she shares her passions and she listens to others. There's a charisma to the Queen of Wands that makes people want to help you. And part of that is the way she helps others as well. So this message is very strongly about stepping outside of your own head and working with other people to do things together, to do things better, and to kind of clear all of that energy out. If you're not ready to talk to somebody else, you can always write out a list of how your life is now, where you want it to be, and kind of look at that. The only thing there is to make sure that you're staying objective. Emotions are great, and you do want to put them in there, but you want to be able to be realistic about this. So, kind of a lot of work up front, but at the end, it will be worth it. If you can kind of stop being too concerned with what's in your way, then you can get to where you want to be. So good luck. Please take it easy on yourself. Please don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. And have a wonderful week. Moving on to pile number 2. We have the 9 of Cups, the World, and the Hierophant. My very, very first impulse, like what I just hear as I put those down, is now that you have it, is it really what you wanted? Is it what you thought it was? The 9 of Cups is a card of contentment, of confidence, moving farther in relationships, getting to where you are ready. This is the Disney Villains deck, so while it looks very nefarious, you gotta think that at this point she's just gotten Ariel's voice. So it's the perfect card. She got what she wanted. She's getting her revenge or her wishes. And even as the sky's opening up, she's thrilled about it. The World is a card of accomplishments. It is also a reminder that once you hit a goal or an accomplishment, it's okay to continue to want more. You can keep going. So that's just where that is. It enough? Is it what it's going for? Especially when you add that the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about checking in with yourself and making sure that you're still in alignment with who you are. As we grow, sometimes we don't realize the changes in ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the longer we take before we realize, the farther and farther our actions and words meet up with ourselves. And we really want to present ourselves as we are versus how we were, because we want the opportunities that are best for us to be the ones that pop out. So if we're still talking and acting like another version of ourselves, an older version of ourselves, we're still going to be seeing the same patterns. Whereas if we're stepping into our authentic energy, the things that get put in our path will line up with that better. So there is that. You got what you want. You came what you meant to do. You did what you meant to do. You got it. You got the world. You got what you thought was going to be the most important thing in your life. And now it's time to see if it still is. Definitely pat yourself on the back, whether you still want this or not. But then see where you can go from there. So it's a congratulatory message, but also a what now? Good luck. Moving on to pile number 3. We have the 3 of Swords, we have the 5 of Swords, and we have the King of Swords. These are interesting together because the 3 holds so much hurt in it. The 3 is a card of disappointment, It can be of breakups, divorce. It can be just hurt feelings. And this can be when you hear somebody saying something about you that just really hits a nerve. It doesn't have to be a breakup or a big thing. It's something that hurts you. And I want you to know that no matter how big or small somebody else tells you that it is, it's valid to be hurt if somebody hurts you. The Five of Swords is an interesting one with the 3, because the 5 can be a card of cut and run. It can be a card of the best of bad options. These two together really feel like you had to make a really hard decision. And especially with the King of Swords being kind of an anxiety card sometimes, he can be very up in his head. Having these 3 together say that you sort of obsessed and then you made your choice thinking it was the best one, and now maybe you've been regretting it or worrying about it. Honestly, sometimes we don't get good choices. If you went through the options and you did what was best for you, then you made the best decision. And you couldn't have necessarily done it another way. So please stop beating yourself up. Please let yourself heal. The 5 often comes in when there's something we were very committed to, something we really, really, really thought was going to be around for a long time, and then suddenly it's not. And that can cause a lot of shakeups. But please understand that if you were to continue going in the direction you were going, it would have gotten worse. So you are absolutely allowed to honor those feelings of hurt. You should honor those feelings of hurt, but please just don't take it out on yourself. Back to the King of Swords. Yes, he tends to be up in his head, like I said, especially when you see him with 2 other swords. It's just all air energy. But the air energy also reminds us that things are temporary, and they are the life lessons. They are the things we learn so we can move into bigger things. As such, they are cards of life experience. They are the cards of survival, and they are the cards of growth. So this king coming out, especially as Scar, looking like he's in one of his more victorious moments, this says that you can take this and those experiences and use them to shape your life the way you want to see it, to shape your next job or your next relationship, whatever it is that you've been disappointed about. This next section of your life will be so much more amazing because you have what you need now. Life's tough lessons can sometimes push us in the right direction. So this is going to be a rough one, but I really hope that you are able to use it, to gain some clarity and to set things up in a way that you're going to be victorious down the line. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week.